over the world even makes up a word, but we know what it means, yaw. There's no word in English, yaw, but we know what he means. His yowling, gab. So out of yowling gab, he gets yaw. That's how I would think it, that he gets it. The last scud of day holds me back, coaxes me to the dusk. I depart as air, I shake my white locks in the runaway sun. I bequeath myself to the dirt, to grow from the grass I love. He picks up the grass theme. If you want me again, look under your boots, the heels of your shoes, your boot soles. You'll hardly know who I am, but I shall be good health to you nevertheless. Failing to fetch me at first, keep encouraged. Miss me one place, search another. I stop somewhere waiting for you. Well, my mind, and I may be wrong, that is probably one of the greatest, even though it's got a lot of cornball junk in it, probably one of the greatest efforts in poetry of the American cultural panorama. And I challenge you to give me one that's even anywhere near as grand. So when you can tell me one, maybe there's some European ones I don't know about, but he ranks way up there with an effort like that. Totally original, totally new outlook, even new for our time, and new rhythm, new way of expressing himself that we now call free verse. Most people who write poetry write like he does now, or some variation of him, because very few people are going to rhyme stuff anymore. They'll do it for fun maybe, but they won't do it except in songs. There's a lot in there that we would not agree with. There are religious ideas that are totally his own. But what finally comes out is love for America, love for democracy, love for life, and it's fearless. That's the best I can do with it. So you say, what should I do with it in an exam? Oh, something what I'm trying to do with it. Do your best. See what you make of it. Quote some lines. Analyze some lines. That's the best we can do with it. There's no final answer. He doesn't think there is one, and I don't think there is. Any question about that one? Let's look at this other one here, Crossing Brooklyn Ferry, which picks up this wait somewhere. I stand somewhere waiting for you. So he's got another one here, which is a great picture of, see if I can find this one. I'm having trouble getting my finger on it here. What section is it in, do you remember? There it is, Crossing Brooklyn Ferry, Jim's own section. This is a unified short poem, relatively short. It's not short really, but it's relatively short. It's also a religious poem, which is why I've chosen it. Because we're talking about the religion. What page is it in your book?
128.
128. It's in 116 in my book. But you've got the Penguin, most of you. So. Let's try to look at this one, because the best way to look at what he's doing is read it. And it's hard to read these by yourself. But when you read it out loud, just so much more comes out of it. Okay. Flood tide below me, crossing Brooklyn Ferry. What's he doing? Flood tide below me. Recently we had one of these ferries crash into the Staten Island dock side and killed quite a few people because the pilot said he was passed out or drunk or on drugs or something or medication, and he forgot to stop the boat. Or I don't know, he wasn't even there or something. And they had a lot of trouble recently in ferries are coming back, you know. New York ferries are starting to come back. People like the idea of crossing, you know, New York's an island, and people like the idea of coming to work on a ferry boat. You know, it's better than being stuck in traffic on a bridge or in a tunnel that someone might blow up or something. Ferry boat is you get the fresh air in the morning, and San Francisco Bay, there's a lot of people coming across from Marin and these places on ferry boats now. It's easier than trying to drive in, or even there's no transportation from some of these areas also. And Seattle and up that way, I mean, the place runs on ferry boats, doesn't it? And there's ferry boats to all the islands and everything. But most of us here haven't been on ferry boats except down in Newport Beach, maybe, when there's a little ferry boat that goes across that little sort of, how many have been on that little ferry? Yeah. That's about the biggest ferry we have. Maybe to go to Catalina, there's a kind of, not a ferry, but a speedboat of some kind, whatever. What do you call those things that sit up on the air? What are they called? Hydrofoil or something like that. So he thinks that's his mistake. He thinks you're going to be like him. You're going to be sitting in the rail of ferry boats, just like he did 100, 200 years ago. He doesn't understand scientific development is coming, even though he thinks there should be spiritual development. But he doesn't seem to anticipate scientific development that you guys and many of us have never sat at the railing of a ferry boat, or any boat for that matter. How many of you have never sat at the rail of a ferry boat looking out at the sea? Well, most of you have, so I'll take your word, but I don't believe you. I'm sure about half of you haven't. Anyway, to lean next to, I know just what he's talking about. Again, it's me versus you, my life experience versus yours. To lean on the rail of the railing of the boat and look down at the water while the boat's moving. This is just something, a great feeling for some reason. God knows why. There's no rhyme or reason why it is. But that's what he's doing. Flood tide below me, sitting at the railing, looking down at the water on the moving ferry boat. Clouds to the west, sun there, half an hour high. Hey, you're smart. What time of the day is it?